What's up, y'all? This is Uncommon Records' annual thing that I do where I talk about just all the releases we had in the year, do a little show and tell, and just celebrate 2023, our most recent year. We're heading into our 20th year as a record label, which is crazy to be. We put out a ton of releases this year. It really took a lot of effort from a lot of people. We expanded the roster a bit. My name is Uncommon NASA, in case you don't know. Alright, so we started the year in January. I probably mentioned this at the end of last year's 2022 wrap-up just because this barely fell into 2023 and I already had the product. I'll go through it quickly again here. This is Masai Bey and B.M.S's C87 15th anniversary reissue CD. Brand new artwork from He Dreamt Mars. New remastering for myself, and all the instrumentals are on here. It's not easy to always get the back catalog Masai Bey instrumentals, but on this one they were available and we put it on here. Probably showed it like this last year. Three card gatefold side. You know, cool picture of, you know, I got to see this live many times. B.M.S. and Masai performed it together. They performed a lot together when I saw them during the Auxiliary Arms years, but really cool. This might be from that era, might even be from before that picture. But you know, you can see the CD design. There's a little forward by myself right here. This is a classic. I mean, you know, 2024 we'll have some other Masai Bey reissues, so stay tuned on that. Definitely in the middle of working on that stuff, so pick this up if you haven't. We got into, during the spring and the summer, you know, we spent a lot of time as a label working on this release right here. This is Samurai Banana's Just Tired, and this is a really special and unique release for Uncommon Records. First of all, it's a fully instrumental release, which we don't do very often. I can't remember, probably in almost 20 years since the last time we put out instrumental release, maybe Arcsin. Obviously, I've put out like instrumental versions of rap records of mine, and even Masai Music, we put out the Only Child instrumentals last year. But, you know, as far as a artistic piece of instrumental work, it's been a very long time. So Samurai Banana's music really deserves that kind of attention, and I tried to, as a label owner, really give it the finesse that it deserved by being the nature of what it is. Banana's whole thing was like, I want to do a 16-page booklet, and it was like, wow, that's a daunting thing to do, because a lot of places don't even offer that. You have to like custom request that, and that's what we did. All of the artwork that's behind his lyrics here, and I'll get to why there's lyrics for an instrumental album in a minute, but all of the artwork is by his dad, Richard Gann. You know, pretty incredible work. I mean, these are all real pieces that exist someplace, you know, in the physical world, and they've been, you know, he actually did the graphic layout for this too, so shout out to Richard Gann on that too. There's a lot that goes into making a booklet like this. As far as the lyrics, you know, these are basically, you know, flash fiction pieces for each song. So you hear the music and you could read along in the book, go through the depths of the artwork. It's a visual and an audio experience listening to his album, and that's because that was Banana's vision for the record. And you can see here, the inside opens up twofold, has this cool sort of thing going on there. Disc itself, you know, Loyalty Star, but doctored in a new and interesting way. Old Spanky right here on the cover. Shout out to Samurai Banana and to Richard Gann. This was an honor to have on the roster and to release. Just, if you don't have this CD, you need to own this CD. That's the kind of thing that we put together, in my opinion. You know, this isn't something that I mean, you can stream it and make it just part of your background, but you really want to get into it, you gotta have this CD. And those are the kind of CD packages I'd like to create on Uncommon. Is like, it's not just there as a disc. Like, you really want to own this if you're interested in the music. So this was not something that was created by Uncommon Records in physical form, but Goodwill Cutting is an album that I produced for Pastense and Shortrock. They worked together as a team for this, and I produced the entire EP. It's 5 songs deep, remastered and re-released this digitally on Uncommon Records. And that version has all of my instrumentals on it as well. So quick reference to this, these CDs in kind of like jacket form are available on the Uncommon Records Bandcamp and website, but these discs are sort of the older version of the mastering without the instrumentals. But if you do just want to have a physical copy, boom, there it is. During the summer, we also put out this, which is extremely important for me to point out. This is a 45 of Acid Rain from Diversity. So Diversity was released from Uncommon Records, if I can get this date right, I believe that was 2010, maybe it was 2009. So a while ago, early in our history, within our first 5 to 6 or 7 years. And of course, rest in peace, Gaja. None of us that knew him from Uncommon forget about him. I think about him almost on a daily basis. We all have a love for Gaja and his music. And because of that, it was really important to circle back. I actually asked Beyond, I was like, yo, what kind of colors do you think Gaja would want? Like, what colors represent Acid Rain the best? Just on a, contact thought. And he said yellow and red. So we flipped the Uncommon Restoration from orange and gray to the yellow and red for this particular 7-inch. If we do 7 inches in the future, I'll probably do different colors for all of them. But this is the first one that broke from that pattern that we had established. And it was all because that's what I wanted to do to big up Gaja and big up Acid Rain as well. But this is Babalu. This was on the Diversity single, Babalu, classic beat produced by EQ. And those guys ripped it. Just the cautionary tale. That was what Gaja was about. And that's also what Acid Rain has been about. And of course on the B-side, The Ripper, Fantastic Four with Nayla and Micah 9, production by Born Again. Ball went on here. Classic tracks, and just putting them on vinyl meant a lot to me. I would love one day to be able to put like Diversity on vinyl. I certainly would love to put like Hands of Gold Are Always Cold on vinyl. And maybe those things will happen one day. But in the immediate, I was able to, get this 7-inch made. And this means a lot to me that I was able to do this. And, it's a classic piece. And, shout out to Beyond and Omeka and everybody at Acid Lab and everybody that knew Gaja that came up with him and then that met him later too on the road. All this is super important. So then we got into what I spent most of the last few years in this room working on, which was the Guilty Simpson album, Escalation. We began work on this around 2020-ish, like late 2020, and I kind of worked in silence on it for a while, and to some degree to a fault. But I wanted to get far enough into the album before I started talking about it publicly that it had its shape and it had its form. And finally, late last year, we started releasing singles from the record, and then during the summer this year, we finally put the album out after a few more singles digitally. And so I'll start with the CD, just because we've been rocking CDs here so far, along with that 7-inch, but this is the CD version of it. DJ Jazz Pants did this art, basically rendered photos of Guilty to create, and myself, you'll see that when I open it up, but and rendered them to have this old-timey newspaper comic kind of look to it, and that's what we're going for. And I'm here rocking one of the instruments that's in this room, got the list of everything I used to make this album. Guilty's there, cool statement that he made about thank yous, and this is what the CD looks like. Big up to everybody that's spread the word about this album and really recognized it for what it is. I'm super amped. I feel very accomplished as a producer having done this. You can see plenty of interviews with me talking about just the fact that during the making of this, for the most part, I didn't listen to Guilty's music because I didn't want to be directly influenced. I wanted to have those the things that made me a guilty fan, I wanted to have them in my head as a memory instead of an active, like, oh, let me try to do this. So I think the result was me trying to make my kind of beats in a way that translated to what he had been doing with all the legendary producers that he worked with, from Dilla to Madlib to Apollo Brown to Catalyst. The list goes on and on and on. I mean, I can name Kensudine. Like, there's, you know, he's got the best roster of producers maybe of any MC ever. You know, and I just step into that like, hey, how can I make myself a small piece of this? And that's what I think this record is. I just want to quickly now go through the vinyl. I mean, obviously larger version of everything, but everything you saw in there small. I mean, this is what, you know, it's a full color inner sleeve. You know, no shortcuts taken on the artwork and the layout. And then the record itself, this copy's been bouncing around. Actually played this at one of my DJ gigs a couple months ago. So forgive the dust because it's getting its use, but you can see, you know, we did inverse sticker, loyalty star, loyalist star, whatever you want to call it. You know, that's how you know it's uncommon when you see that. Jazz Pants actually did an awesome layout with this as the instrumental version, and that is available digitally. You can get that on Spotify, you can get that on our Bandcamp, you can get that anywhere our music's available online. Finally, in December, we put out the last release of the year from Uncommon Records in the year of 2023, and that was another reissue, but I feel like this is brand new, even more than Goodwill Cutting. Because I feel like Paper Cuts and Aged Spirits of Past Tense didn't even get enough run the first time it came out for what it was. You know, it's got production from Masai Music, it's got production from myself, Willie Green, John Sarastro, and a producer from up in Boston named Simius, or Simus. I'm not exactly sure how to say his name out loud, but shout out to him for producing Infirmary on here. This was a record I was interested in making part of the Uncommon catalog as me and Past Tense work up to our album together, where I'm producing a full record for him for 2024, because this just fits. You know, it's got a lot of producers that I've worked with a bunch, some producers that have put out stuff through Uncommon in the past, and then we grabbed some bonus tracks. You know, we grabbed a track off of an album that he had previously done with John Sarastro, Last Man on Earth. We added it to this as a bonus, and then we also had The Sun Died, and I got the acapella and made a brand new remix because I wanted to, I felt like the original Sun Died, like, that's on Astronaut's Dream, and that's an album that I didn't want to break up by like borrowing a song, because it's very much like a dope like Willie Green production. But I also wanted something that I could kind of show the direction of where me and Past Tense are going on the new record that we're working at. So that's why remix really made a lot of sense for this. This CD version, which I'll open up and show again, Past Tense, and this is true of Goodwill Cutting too, but more to the point for this, since this is a new layering. This is all new artwork. You know, we kept it nice and simple here. It's funny because Past Tense and Samurai Banana both have fathers that are artists in the physical art, visual art world, and that work on their covers. So they were both like two of the new additions to the label, and they both had the same process in terms of their artwork, which was kind of amazing and beautiful at the same time. But John Tracy, shout out to him, Past Tense's dad, we took like an image that was sort of, I think it was laid out sort of like this, but you know, wider, and just flipped it to create this sort of sunset feeling. You know, Past Tense's music is all about nature and balance. And so, you know, to us, this was day and night. And, you know, we took two different pieces, laid them out. Shout out to Jennifer Powell, who did the layout on this and was able to sort of take everything that I was throwing at her and that Past Tense was suggesting and really make something that's beautiful and timeless. This has all the instrumentals on it. Digital version of this exists with the new mastering, with the bonus tracks. It does not have the instrumentals. We didn't put the instrumentals on Spotify. We didn't put the instrumentals on Bandcamp. Only if you purchase the physical CD do you get the instrumentals. Everybody that buys our stuff knows that I use a lot of digipacks. I'm not a big jewel case person when it comes to like concepts, and I like the gatefold thing too, and we did that with this. So, you know, when you buy a lot of our stuff together, You know, they all fit on the shelf nice, just like that. You know, all digipacks, different sizes. Some of them more foldouts than others. Obviously, Banana has the 16-page booklet inside, but you can fit everything you need in this dope package and then put it on your wall. And like, we create music for people that want to hold and cherish and you know, respect the music. And if you don't, then don't buy it. But like, we love the people that do. And you know, we still managed to get some vinyl out this year. We're carrying this year as well. Stay with us in 2024. We'll definitely have more CD releases that, you know, try to live up to like the artwork and layout that these do. And of course, the musical content is going to be there. You know, we're working on stuff from Short Fuse. Like I said, we got this Pastense record. I'm working on some other productions. I'm working on my own next album. I don't know if that'll be 2024 or not, but I am working on it. So stay with the label. By the time and also Masai Bey reissues are coming in 2024. So stay with the label. Before you know it, I'll be doing everything we released for Uncommon in 2024, and I'll be holding a stack this big that I don't even realize I'm about to get into releasing yet. So shout out again to everybody that purchased any of these pieces right here. I'm super excited that we had the year that we did, and stay with us as we head into the 20th anniversary of Uncommon Records. Peace. Yeah.